Now we have the image imported over from Affinity Designer, and I'm just going to draw your attention to this gradient here, this one here, and the one on the bumper. And I've also got one across on the windscreen, but it's only subtle. And there's one down here you'll see as well. If I select the whole thing and then attempt to scale it, if I go smaller, as soon as I let go of the mouse button, all these gradients vanish, the white ones. Strangely, that one doesn't, and I don't think that one does either. And then if I just undo that, they all pop back in again, and then we'll just select it all again. But this time we're going to increase the size. We'll just hold down Control and drag that out. I want to let go of the mouse button this time. Those three disappear completely. Something has changed on this gradient here, but if I pick up the nodes tool and hover over, you'll see that the information is actually still there. So not sure what that's all about. It's probably some display setting that's, I don't know if it's Affinity's side or Inkscape's. I'm sure somebody out there will know. But if you are going to swap around on these packages, please do be aware you may lose some information. This isn't too bad because we can see that it's the quite large areas, but if you've got small grill sections, you may not notice the change until you're well into the project, and it might be too late. Okay, so now we've got that cautionary tale out of the way, we can start constructing this headlight. So I've gone ahead and imported the original picture into Inkscape, and I'm just going to now pick up the pen tool and we're going to start constructing this headlight. So I'm going to show you the normal way of doing it, like a normal person would, which isn't me. So it's just the way you probably taught on other tutorials to use this pen tool is a nice straight edge there, you click on that, lay a line down, you come across your corner and you hold the mouse button down and you bend to match that corner. Then you release, and then you're left with this weird tail. And if you're really lucky, it will match the direction you want to go. There is a key you can press. It's that long since I've done it, I can't actually remember. It's irrelevant. Don't do this way, it's a bad way. Bad. Let's just see if I do it on here, it's going to let me. It's just a weird, I just don't like it. So let me show you the way I do it, and I've done it on all my other videos. It's much faster and I think it's much easier. Although for demonstration purposes something will go wrong to make me look stupid. So let's see how we get on. So what we're going to do is same again, straight edge. We're going to come across, click there, and then we're going to just jump across the corner and click there and just carry on. Leave the diagonal in, just leave it. And then another little straight edge, click there, jump across and just keep going across all these straight edges and all the corners as best you can. And I might struggle, this might be a bit of a jump, that one, but we'll see how we go. So I've already pre-selected the colour. That's not quite the same, but it'll do for what we're trying to achieve here. So now you're just going to go in, pick up the node tool and make your modifications to suit your needs. One thing I will say is I've gone down these straight edges. They're not actually perfectly straight. I would, where you've got a corner, I would handle the straight edges adjacent to that corner first. If you bend the corner first and then put the straight edges where you want them, you get like a little kink on these nodes. In fact, I'll just show you. It's a tutorial after all. So if I do that and click off, you get this weird little kick. Just undo that. So if you put the bend in on the what's going on? If you put the bend in on the straighter edges first, then you can grab the corner and click off and you get one continual edge. Yes! I did something right. Feels good. So I'm just going to carry on round here Probably go to time lapse, just whip around doing the same thing and get this done. Right, before we jump into drawing our headlight, I'm just going to talk you through some simple bits, get those out of the way so we don't have to draw them in the tutorial. Just grab the node tool. The daytime running light was just drawn with the pen tool roughly over the top of the original in the photo. Just jump back to the picture. Let's drop the opacity on that so we can see what we're doing. Yeah, so fairly obvious what I've done there. Just looked at the main edges and then embellished it a little bit. Just included a few extra little bits just to make it more interesting. And then I'm looking at the center part of the headlight. There's actually quite a lot going on in there. There's a lot of information. So I've just looked for major landmarks and included those and omitted everything else. So if I jump over to another headlight I did for this thumbnail, this was my Golf. Don't panic, it's not 5.5 litre. It's just the washer bottle. Does catch a few people out. I wish it was 5.5, but it's not. So yeah, these reflections were like the major reflections in that photo. If I'd have included everything, all this would have been full, and I think it would have just overwhelmed the image, and it would look just too much. So just be careful you don't go overboard with it. And as for colours, of course we've got the back of the headlight, the blue, but I've included a mid-range colour there, and then we've got a low light and a highlight. So it copies over much the same as the body. So we've got a background colour, and then we've got the mid colour and a highlight, and then the dark colour. So it's the same kind of format of trying to keep the continuity there. And of course we've got the indicator, but that's actually the same orange as what we've used on the body. So I'm going to show you how to do these and these. Here we go then. Let's create our headlight. I'm going to need a circle. Let's select the ellipse tool and hold down Control and drag out a circle. Let's just give that a nice medium grey. And then we are going to need the pen tool, and what we're going to do is cut out our shapes to give it that kind of headlight look, for want of a better description. Let's just put these in randomly. I mean, let's carefully consider where we put these. That is random, just made that up. And we'll change the colour on that so you can see it. Let's give it any old blue. That'll do nice. And then go over to the Move, Select and Transform Objects tool, and we're going to, that's already selected. I'm going to hold down Control. No, I'm not. I'm going to hold down. I'm going to start that again. We're going to select that one, and we're going to hold down Shift and click on the circle. And then we're going to go up to Path and Difference, and that should knock out your top shape from your bottom shape, and that will give you your effect. So I'm just going to go into Node Tool just to show you you've got obviously complete control over how this looks. We can make these a bit deeper. Should bring these down a little bit more and even them out a little bit. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so we're going to go over to Pen Tool. Oh, actually, that's changed. In fact, I'm going to delete that node. Put those handles back on there. And that one. And that one. Let's try and keep it as faithful to what I did the first time as possible. So yeah, Pen Tool, this is going to look a little odd, but it will make sense in a second. I'm just going to click on there, there. Let's give it a white. And then back to the node tool, and we're just going to bend this over the top. And of course, this is just to give the idea of what I did. Obviously, I spent a lot longer on the finished one than I'm doing on this. But I do like to try and keep the videos short. Ha, no chance. I can't even do shorts. Let's just bend. Why can't I pick that up? What's going on? That is strange. Why can't I pick? Oh, I can't pick that up. You wouldn't have that problem with Affinity Designer. You'd have a different problem. Right, that's those in place. So I'm going to pick up the pen tool, and then we're just going to mimic the cuts we've already made in the first one. So I'm going to come down there, and up and down, and so on and so forth, until the job is complete, like that. And then you're going to stay inside that white shape you've made, and that's that. Now you can, if you want, you can select that one, hold down Shift, select the other one, and go up to Path and Union, just to keep things tidy. And we'll zoom out and zoom back in. Obviously that looks a lot neater, but I did spend a bit more time on it. But that's the general idea. And then just to add a bit more of effect, I've just cut out that little flourish there. And then of course the same was done on the amber ones, but we'll have a look at that next. Right, let's get cracking on this one then. Time is getting on. I've got a bus to catch. Let's just duplicate this to make things a bit easier. I don't really have a bus to catch. It's just the video's getting long, that's all. Ooh, it's a bit too orange. Will do us, I think. Right, let's just move this one out of the way. We don't need that for a second. Let me just refresh my mind. Oh yeah, I gotcha. Right, so let's just flip that the other way. The only reason I flipped it was because if you go the other way, it's just a bit, it's very similar because it's a duplicate, but the shape, I thought if I flip it, it just gives it a bit more visual interest. Let's just shrink that down a touch. And then I grabbed the pen tool, I think, and I just cut out, just cut out a shape. Just some random points. Let me give it a stroke because it's vanished. I'll turn the stroke off in a second when we get it done. That will do us, I think. You get the idea. Let's turn that stroke off. Give it a fill. And then I'm going to go path, stroke to path. Sorry, object to path. And then I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to pick up our other shape. And I'm going to go path difference, and that will knock that out. So that gives us something similar. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I put in a bit of another shape down the bottom there, but I think you get the gist. We can leave that one out. And then what I did was duplicate that, because if I just turn off bring the opacity down and just move this guy out of the way, and that one. Yeah, you got like the indicator there, and I think like the reflection on the floor of the headlight there. So I'll just put him back in place, bring the opacity back up, and then I'm just going to mirror that one by flipping it horizontally, and then we're going to squash him, and then I'm going to click on the object to change these handles and just give it a bit of a skew. And that's, I think, all I did. But of course I left in, it had the other shape across it, so it's got, you know, you get the idea. And I think that just about covers the headlight. See if there's, oh no, there's one other thing, look, one other thing. I made a, let's see if it let me pick it up. I made a selection there and just puts in, I think it's probably a similar blue to the one behind, or maybe a similar green to this one, and then I'll just drop the opacity on it, so you got like a come on Inkscape, meet me halfway. Yeah, there we go. I just put in a like a sheen across the polycarbonate top. So I think originally that might have had a gradient on affinity. I think it did have a gradient, but obviously what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's been lost. But yeah, that's it. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you. And the next video is going to be the grill area, and this is fun. This is a fun one, but we'll tackle that next time. So if you've stayed with me this far, thank you very much for putting up with me and being patient. And if you'd like to see your car featured in one of my videos, leave a comment and I'll try and sort that out. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget, there's a ton of other videos I've got. Check those out when you get a minute. And yeah, that's it. You can go now.